Development within urban spaces has traditionally been organic. As a community needs change, change usually happens naturally, although not all changes may suit the community or be ideal. In an uncontrolled environment, things often go awry. This highlights the need for a development framework for urban and suburban spaces, and this has been recognized for many years. Often, these processes have had a top-down approach which is not entirely ideal. The Johannesburg Development Agency initiated a groundbreaking project called the Melville-Auckland Park Precinct Plan. The plan is an initiative on the part of the City of Johannesburg to engage with residents and interested parties in order to formulate a development framework plan and create a set of guidelines to enable logical development of the suburb. A series of meetings were held with residents and interested parties who were asked to put forward areas of concern. These were broken down into topics of interest. At these meetings, residents were asked to form action groups and discuss proposals in line with their observations and experiences living in the suburb. These were then presented to the participants as a whole for further comment. A team of specialists analysed these suggestions and formulated proposals in line with international best practice and existing bylaws. These reworked suggestions were then communicated back to the residents and various community groups and business owners. The main objective of these meetings was to convey the valuable practical and implementable proposals now in line with accepted best practice. Resident inputs were highly relevant because they came from the people within the precinct and who would be most affected by the urban design. However, as with any form of public participation, there were people who felt the process was flawed. In some cases, issues not directly related to the precinct plan were raised and some clarification was needed. Essential to a project of this nature is testing, and an activation testing event was held in the 7th Street area. This looked at a number of issues related to 7th Street specifically. Traffic flow and parking problems are significant issues in the area. Traffic flow, especially around First Avenue where it intersects with 7th Street, is a particularly problematic area. General rush hour traffic was also assessed in a broader context. This included inappropriate parking impeding good traffic movement, as well as a perceived lack of parking. Looking at the combination of providing public space in the 7th Street precinct, along with analysing traffic movement and parking issues, was done by creating a temporary one-way traffic system which produced some significant results. Changing the traffic systems in the area to a series of one-way streets was one of the concepts tested. An immediate improvement in traffic flow in First Avenue was noted, as there was no oncoming traffic. This also alleviated the parking problem, as parking on both sides of the street was no longer an issue. Similar results were observed on the other avenues down to 4th Avenue. And the idea of encouraging visitors to use formal parking spaces like 27 boxes was also suggested. Turning block areas of 7th Street into pedestrian-only zones to encourage residents and tourists to visit the area would additionally allow restaurant owners to utilize street space to create an open cafe environment. It also creates a safe area for pedestrians and allows public space for community activities. These were observed over the test period.
A customer who was standing here on the phone, they grab his phone, they get in the car, getaway car. We couldn't even get them or whatever. But last night it was not even one incident because the road is closed.
I would say that I prefer the roads closed off like this. This is a much nicer way to enjoy this environment. I find like these sort of areas are social, that's their point. And you're trying to drive business in, and the constant traffic definitely got in the way. So this is a much better system. Personally, that's how I feel.
These observations were included in the proposals which were presented to the community for final comment. The precinct residents and stakeholders quickly demonstrated that they are knowledgeable and concerned on how issues are to be addressed. In this open and consultative way, the planning system is allowing greater local engagement, which can in turn create better people-centered urban spaces and stronger communities. The bottom-up approach of the plan has provided residents and stakeholders the opportunity to participate and have direct input in managing the execution of urban management priorities, as well as input into the capital investment framework of the local authority. The negotiation and implementation of the Melville-Auckland Park Precinct Plan was not a painless process, and it has been a valuable learning tool for all participants. Not everybody in the community understands the advantages of having a development plan, and ultimately there are people who only see their personal needs and not a bigger picture scenario. But the ability of residents to interact with the city authorities in broader planning issues such as this is a good way to ensure that municipal governing structures take heed of issues and help improve the lives of all of the citizens of the city of Johannesburg.
Saba.